So anyway, it's fun to give it a try. And I'm also, by the way, I'm recording this, so your classmates who did get a chance to join will be able to watch it on video. And you can always go back and watch it on video. So how are you guys all doing?
Oh, I'm so sorry. My dog is like barking. Buddy, come here. It's definitely like a change, online classes and like not being at the campus and having everything shut down.
Yeah.
It's a very, very big change.
Yeah.
It's all like new and different.
Yeah, I'm sick of being home.
What's that?
I'm sick of being home.
You're sick of being home?
Yeah, I'm losing my mind. Slowly but surely.
Yeah. Are you able to get out at all?
Well, Coach still wants us to like send us our runs because I run cross country, so I'll still go run, but that's like the highlight of my day to go around the block.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you know what a dog feels like.
Yeah. I don't know how they do it.
How about the rest of you guys?
It's different, but I'm enjoying it with my family.
You're enjoying it?
I mean, I enjoy being with my family, but like obviously being inside sucks, but
yeah.
I try to go outside every day, like on a walk or a run or something.
Yeah.
But they closed down the beaches.
Yeah.
So like
I know.
because I go down and I exercise every day by the beach. And then yesterday I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go. And then it's blocked off. Like you cannot go. But it's only the right side, not the left side. So I was like, oh, the right side has the virus, but the left side doesn't have the virus. It's just weird. But I was like, I'm just gonna walk across and go over there. And then a cop came up, and then I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I got kicked out of the beach too by a cop.
Yeah, because they're finding people. They're finding people. The surfer got like $1,000 fine today. I was like, oh, that is not.
Oh, you can't even surf.
No, it's blocked off. Professor.
Yeah, and you can't go on any of the trails in PV either because they're all blocked off.
Yeah.
You can get fined there too. So it's like there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's freaky. And like at the beach, they clip down the what are those? The volleyball nets.
Yeah.
I saw them clipping them, and I was like, oh, what are you doing? Like it was
actually cutting them. Like
I saw them cutting them. Joe was his name because I was like, excuse me, sir, like what are you doing?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just sad. It's like a new way that's just sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's really the strangest thing that I've ever experienced my entire life. I have.
That's what everyone is.
And I've been around a long time, and this is just really. I was in New York when 9/11 happened, so yeah. So it was. This is way worse. I mean, just in terms of the impact that it has on everybody, because there. If you were close to it, you really felt it. But the further away you were from it, the less you felt it. But like now, everyone's feeling this. Like there's no one that's immune, literally. And but I don't know. It's weird. I mean, and I actually love it. It's been great. It's been great for on one hand because my family's around. It's the air is clear. There's no traffic. Everything's kind of slowed down, and especially because I'm an introvert, and I've been kind of rehearsing for this all my life, and I think that that part's great. But on the other hand, it's like, well, if I forget to wash my hands and accidentally, touch my face or pick my nose, I may have just given myself a death sentence. So anyway.
But the whole thing happened like super fast. You have to admit, like we were just going on spring break and like, okay, like see you all in 5 days. And then all of a sudden it's like, what is
Don't
happening?
come back.
You know what? I like
Yeah.
so many people they called me and they're like, oh, I'm back in Canada. I'm back in like Utah. I'm back in wherever they live. And I'm like, what
Yeah.
the? Like they just all left super quick, which is crazy.
I
You guys,
know. It's
this will be
amazing.
over soon.
Yeah, I will be over soon too.
You think it'll be over soon?
I'm hoping by the end of April it'll be done.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
at the dentist today, but that
Yeah.
didn't happen.
No, they're shut down. Well, you have to look at the data. If you just follow those curves, you can see where we're heading. We're still on the trajectory, or I'm not sure which one. I don't know, backwards. We're on the trajectory still on the way up, so it's going to take a while for it to taper off, and it just depends on how well people are complying and that sort of thing. It's going to be a while. I know that the University of California, they have some schools, like my wife works in the law school at UC Irvine, and she was on a call with their chancellor, and the chancellor said that the law school is going to have to plan on being online, which normally it starts like in mid-August, like when we start. But they're planning on the students being able to return like in late September, which is when the UC semester starts. So, they go by, forecasts and all the analysis and that sort of thing. So I kind of use them as a bellwether, and I think that's kind of where we're going to be.
Yeah.
And for the graduations too, like those got canceled. So that's really sad for people that were graduating this year. That's really, really sad.
Anybody who's a senior, my youngest daughter is a senior in high school, and she shares the calendar, and I started getting all these cancellations, like senior ditch day and Disneyland day and graduation.
Prom.
It was just really prom, all done.
That's so sad.
I know. It's supposed to be like like your last semester of your senior year is kind of like that's when you get to blow that one off, right? And have fun. So anyway, it's very, very different. It's very different. So I'm going to be sending out a survey to everybody to ask some questions about what we we're just talking about, and so I'll send that out probably tomorrow. So be sure to respond to it, and then we're going to use that to analyze data. So it'll be a new project. Some of the things I've had to change and stop just because of the what's going on. So let me see here. So our agenda today is we're going to it's just basically to update y'all on what's new, what's ended, within this class, and then we'll get into a review of the run charts, and then we'll go through module 8 project together. So that's it. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about?
No,
I think this conversation is kind of depressing.
Depressing? Sorry.
It's okay. I just want to get out. I want to have my regular life back.
I know.
Like everyone got laid off. So my family right now, they went on a walk. That's why it's quiet, but they're so loud all the time. So
really?
It's impossible to get anything done. They like when they talk, they scream, and I don't understand why. But yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for us, we have it's my wife and 2 daughters, and my oldest daughter is a freshman at Syracuse University, and so she has classes just like you guys do online. So she goes to her corner, and Zoe, my youngest, goes to her corner because she's they still have classes online as well, and my wife goes to her corner and she's doing work online. So fortunately, so far we're okay with our jobs.
Oh.
So That's going to be one of the questions I was thinking for the survey, just to see if, if you or anybody else has been impacted by this. I mean, everything's just ground to a halt.
Yeah, well,
very few.
I'm a nanny, so all the parents are home now.
Yeah.
Need me.
Amazing. So this coming Sunday, April 5th, what we'll be doing is this Module 8 project, and then take the survey by then. And as I said, it should come out tomorrow, and then do Module 9 exam. We may not be able to do Module 9 project. I have to go through and look at it and see if it's, go through it on my Mac just to see if it's possible to do. For those of you that have PCs, of course, you can do it, but we're all Macs around here, so I can't see what it looks like on a PC right now. So anyway, I'll let you know on that. And then for those of you that have gotten behind modules 1 through 6, you can still get full credit for those modules. That's also due this Sunday. So any questions with that?
Mm-mm.
No. All right, good. So what's new? What's out? What's in and what's out? So that Kaizen project. I mean, I don't know about you. I was working on losing weight through diet and exercise, and that's gone out the window. Because I swim, and I thought, well, the pools got closed. I thought, well, maybe I could swim in the ocean. I have a wetsuit, and now the beaches are closed, so I don't want to get hauled off by the patrol. So that's out. Diet's out the window. My youngest daughter she loves to cook and bake. And so she's making like creme brulee and chocolate chip cookies, and it's like Betty Crocker around here. So, I'm afraid I'm going to be a candidate for my 600-pound life when I'm done with this whole thing, anyway, so I got rid of that. We can't really do that anymore. So we ended that project, and we were almost there anyway. We got to the point of the run chart, and the only thing, sorry, we won't be able to do is the pivot tables and pivot charts. So we're going to use that. We're going to use the results from the data from the survey, and I'll send that out to everybody, so everybody will have the same standardized set of information, and then you'll have the assignment to create some pivot charts and pivot tables out of that, so you get a chance to work through that. And then the other thing that's eliminated is the Kaizen project presentation. So we won't do that. Obviously, it would be hard to do that online. So any questions about these assignments?
No. Wait,
right.
the survey's due on April 5th?
Before Sunday. Yeah, before
okay.
Sunday. Yeah. So you could do that on your iPhone or whatever. It'll be a Survey Monkey thing like we've done before. So it should be easy.
You email it to us, Professor?
What's that?
Email it to us?
Yes, I'll
Okay.
email it to you. So certification, this has been an interesting, this is evolving on a daily basis. So, a big part of this class is giving you the opportunity to get certified as a Microsoft Office specialist. And the reality is that before we had to administer that in the lab, and obviously we can't go to the lab, so I thought it was out. But it turns out that they're creating some new program where you can actually get certified from the comfort of your own home. So what do you think of that? that a good thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Like that's what we
So
do at the class,
what's
right?
that?
That's what we would do like in class to get the
We
certificate.
would have, yeah, you would have, basically it's a proctored exam, and you would have, taken it as just in class together. It's a 50-minute exam, and I have to be there as a proctor. But obviously that can't happen right now. So it's apparently that there's a way to do this from the comfort of your own home now. And so I'm going to test it out and see how well it works, and then get back to you guys on that. There's been a few folks that have been inquiring about getting certification. So I'm looking into it. This is brand new. I want to make sure that it'll work. Oh, and it'll work on Macs. So that's another thing. So that's a big plus. They're also creating, so in order to get certified, you have to know how to take the exam, and all the material that you have taken in Certiport, all the Excel stuff, prepares you for that. But it doesn't prepare you to take the test itself, because the test is timed and you have to know like where to go and where to click, and so it takes practice. And so there's some practice software that we had access to, but it didn't work with Macs either. And apparently it's working with Macs. So there's two sets of software that I have to check into. That one's called Gmetrics and Jasper Active. And so I have to look into those software and make sure that those will work. And then you could practice at home and then potentially take the exam at home. Okay. Any questions about that? Nope. All right. So run charts. A week or so ago, your run charts were due based on your data, and that was to look at some kind of continuous variable to see if you had random or non-random variation in your data. And I've been going through and correcting them, and some of the mistakes are people are forgetting to interpret their run charts. So they create the run charts, so they make the median based on the baseline, some subset of data. And then they put all the data in the run chart, but they don't interpret it. So it's kind of like, well, what does it mean to you? Does it mean anything? Is this random or non-random variation? And if it's non-random, does it follow one of the four rules? And the four rules, again, are the shift, trend, cycling, or an outlier. If you're at a doctor's office and you start to see all these number of health visits going up, meaning that there's 5 or more consecutive data points. Let's say people are coming in with flu-like symptoms. Should you be concerned about that?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So that's why, but if it goes up and then down, and just in this little section over there, you don't have to be, it's just random, right? So it may go up, spike one day, and then, go down the next day. So you have to know how to interpret the data. So that's why I'm teaching these lessons in data analysis, because we have a classic case in a trend. Have you looked at the number of cases that go up on a daily basis? I think it just about doubles every 2 to 3 days, I think is the rate. So that's just a steadily increasing trend, and we want that, hopefully, to see that go down soon. Like keep talking about flattening the curve, right? So let's just practice. So let's look at, so a shift here is that if you have 6 or more data points above or below the median, that's called a shift. And so here's one of your colleagues' data. He's just keeping track of his run chart. Here we have a median of running 3 miles a day. And you can see, do you see any patterns here?
Yeah, he takes breaks.
He takes breaks? Like where?
So like he went
from February 3rd, February 6th, he was increasing his mileage, and then he decreased it on February 7th. And then he went all the way back up on February 8th.
Yeah.
Like, same thing.
Okay, so that's true, but it's really there's no statistical pattern. In other words, there's not a shift, you know, where it's above or below the or a trend or cycling or an outlier. So the pattern, does anybody see any other patterns here? If I can get my, where is it? Doing a little pencil. How about here?
No está bien, mamá. Un licuado, por favor. Gracias.
So does that look like this? A shift?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So a shift is 6 or more data points in a run, all above or below the median. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's more than 6 data points all below the median. So that means that for whatever reason, he was running below the median from February 15th all the way through the 23rd here. Right? I don't know, maybe that was midterms or something was going on. All right, so that's the kind of patterns that you're going to look for in your data.
Professor, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So which one do you want to see the most in regards to like a successful like seasonal product?
I'm not sure I understand the question. You mean in terms of the
Slide 6.
what?
Which one would
What
be
you're
like, more like towards trend?
this is a trend.
Yeah,
Right
would
here.
that be like a good like data for a seasonal product, like an introduction of it, and if it shows like success or which one of all
Yes.
the,
Okay. So you're talking about selling something. I wasn't quite sure what you were referring to. Yeah, absolutely. If you see 5 or more consecutive data points all increasing or decreasing, that would be a good thing.
Okay.
It'd be a bad thing, I guess, if it's decreasing on a business sense. This really depends. So it depends on what you're tracking. Sometimes it's an upward trend is good, or sometimes it's not so good. Like if we were looking at customer complaints, we wouldn't want to see the data going up, right? You want to see it going down. So, other questions? That's a good one.
For both of our graphs, like when we turned it in, is it possible that both of them could have been random?
Mm-hmm. A lot of people's graphs were just random.
Okay.
You know, so yeah. Whatever people were doing, you know, they thought that it was helping, or maybe it wasn't helping, and they're realizing that they need to make some changes. Okay, so ready to move into module 8? Give this thing a try.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely some, well, at least one item that you absolutely cannot do on a Mac. I tried so many different ways to try to work around it, and it's crazy. Okay, so basically we're going to look at trend lines, which is kind of like a run chart. We're going to create pivot tables, pivot charts, and the pivot table and pivot chart, I've said before, But I'll say it again that, when people think about people that have advanced skills in Excel, if you can create a pivot table or a pivot chart, man, you're really something. It just seems it's just mystery to a lot of people, and it's really not that difficult. And then we're going to create slicers, which is just a way of filtering the data visually. So that's it. And let me just minimize this guy here. Marcelo is reviewing farm share sales, and he wants to figure out how to expand the program. He wants to create a line chart of the total sales from the farm shares over a 4-year period. Create a line chart with markers based on the range A3 to E4. So we highlight A3 to E4 and insert a 2D line chart. Line chart with markers. Did I do that right? Try again. That's it. Sorry. This one. Line with markers. I'll edit that out. And just speak up or raise your hand if you have a question. I think there's a way to raise your hand. Did you know that?
I did not.
Reactions? Yeah, I think so. Let me see right here. I don't know if they're, I can't see because I'm on the control side. I don't know if you see it anywhere on your side. I know that, like, if I move my mouse up to the top or to the bottom, I get the the zoom menu. But in this case, I don't see it because I'm I'm in control. Wait, you did it. And someone's clapping. Hey,
Oh,
all
me.
right. Good. Okay, cool. Very good. So hopefully I'll be able to see that if you guys have a question. If not, just speak up. There's only a few of us on. All right. So then they want us to move this thing. So they want grab the top left corner of the chart and move that over to A7. And then the bottom right corner, grab that down to H24. Makes it a little bit bigger. I'll make this bigger so you see that. Format the line with markers as described below. Use 2018 to 2021 farm share sales as the title of the chart. I'm going to try copying this and see if I can just paste it into the title. So on Mac, it's Command V. It works. I'm going to do a backspace there just in case they mark me down for having a space after it. They're so picky sometimes. Add a primary vertical axis to the chart. Use dollars US as the primary vertical axis. So I'm going to right click on my mouse, copy that, and then go on a Mac. Just you have to click the chart and you have to go to add chart element. You don't get that little plus, green plus sign. So you have to go over here, and then we want axis titles. So we want a, what are they saying? This one's the vertical one. So add that one, hover it and paste it. And then I'll do it again for the horizontal.
Professor, can you please do that one?
Yes,
Yeah.
Sorry.
sure. So what I did, you don't have to do this necessarily. I'm just trying to save time and reduce the chance of making a typo. So I'm just going to highlight on my screen. I'm highlighting the US dollars and I'm copying that. And I'm going to click on my chart here so that I get my chart designed and format. So I know that I'm at the place where I can make changes to the chart. And I'm gonna go over to the left side here and add chart element. And then go over to axis titles and choose primary vertical. Oops, I got rid of it. So I had it there already. Primary vertical axis. And then I'm gonna double click on this and just kind of scroll across it. So I'm going to essentially be typing over that. And then I'm going to do Command V, backspace. And you could just type in dollars and then put the parentheses US if that's easier. Maybe it's faster. Just one way to do it.
Mhm.
So then I'm going to then click outside the chart and then go over to, or inside, just like in the white space in the chart, and then click on axis titles, primary horizontal, and we'll just type it in this time. This is sales year. So just type over that and type sales year. And then I'm going to click on, let's see, it says select the 2020 sales data point on the chart, then change the size of the marker to 10 and the fill color of the marker to green accent 6. So this is like a really specific thing and a weird thing, but they're trying to show you that you can select either one or all of the points. So if I click on the marker, like this one says 2020 sales year, I have to click on it twice. And you notice how you get these little
Oh, Lord.
tiny blue balls around the other blue balls. So that means that all of the markers, the points, have been selected. So if you want to just select one of them, if I click on that one once more with my left mouse button, that one is selected. So you should just have these 4 little blue balls around that ball. So then they want us to change the format. So they want us basically this one to stand out, and they want it to be green and bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on it. And nothing happens. How about if I double click on it? There we go. So I double clicked on it with my left mouse button. That works. So we want to format this thing, and Is this it? So we're going to click. I'm sorry, I forgot to put built in. So that was a mistake I made. Was I had to click on built in. I think that's it. And then the color again is this one. That's right. So now try it. There we go. Okay, so now you can see it's bigger, it stands out. So that's number 2. Did you guys all get that?
Yeah.
Is it just the third point?
Just the third one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I know. That's why I said it's weird. But that's what they wanted to do.
For sure.
All right, so Marcelo now wishes to review how the sales of the non-produce shares might grow over the next 2 years by adding a trend line to his sales data chart. Go to the non-produce chart trends worksheet, add a linear trend line to the chart with the following options. Set the trend line to forecast forward 2 periods. Display the R squared value on the chart. So that's this guy here. And so I have the chart selected. And we want to add a chart element. I think I have to click on, actually I'm going to X this guy out right here so you can see more of the chart. So I'm going to click on the line. So I get all the balls highlighted. And then I'm going to go down to here where it says trend line. And then more trend line options, because that's where we can do our forecast. So be sure that these columns are highlighted, and here's our trend line options. So there's exponential, there's linear, logarithmic, polynomial, moving average, right? Exponential is when things keep going up and up, right? Like the growth in coronavirus cases. But this is a linear trend line, and so that's what we want. And we want to forecast it forward 2 periods. So we're going to go down here where it says forecast, and I'm just going to type 2. And we're going to click on display R squared value on chart. So check that box. All right, so what that's showing is that this is 2020 sales, this is 2021 sales. So 2 periods would have been 2022 and 2023 based on a linear trend, right? So if you're in business, Josh, and you want to forecast what your sales are, you can use this tool to figure out basically if you have a linear trend, and we just talked about what a trend is, you know, what the likelihood is of it being this in the next period. So in other words, in 2023, our sales should be somewhere just south of 35,000.
Perfect.
So that's that. Okay, Peteroo Farm shares come in 3 different sizes: small, large, and regular. Marcelo wants to visually display how the sales of different share sizes have changed over time. Go to the 2018-2021 share size chart worksheet, remove the average share cost series from the pivot chart. This is the one that we can't do. So let me just show you that we can't do it. So we're going to go to the 2018-2021 share size chart. And what you can see, this is called a column chart, clustered column chart. And we have the 2018, 19 through 2021 sales, but we also have this average share cost, which is a different animal. So an average is different from a total. So that's why this is so much smaller. So they're asking us to get rid of it. And I tried clicking on it, and basically it's just impossible to do. If any of you out there figure out a way, I'll give you extra credit or something, but I haven't been able to figure it out. What we're trying to do is get rid of the average cost here. So if I click on that and I hit delete, it deletes from this legend, but these are still here. So they're trying to have us get rid of it. So anyway, can't do it, can't be done. So number 4, I'll give you credit for. So we can move on to number 5. Question?
Leave that one portion that says average share cost, or just leave it?
Just skip this one. Just skip this whole 2018-21 share size chart. You can't do it. Okay, number 5. Go to the 2018. Oh yeah, we can't do that one either. So we can't do, well, actually we can do this part. So let's do this. So change the format of all 4 data series to cylinder. So these are basically rectangles, although they're a little bit 3-dimensional, I guess. We can make these into cylinders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the orange one first. I have to click twice, I guess. And see how it's highlighted, all of these. So that brings up the Format Data Series tool. And I think we want to go over to here where it says column. Yeah, these column bars. And we have, right now it's box shaped. And if you click on the radio button that says cylinder, it'll change it to cylinder. And then if I just click on the gray bar, I can click on cylinder, and then the yellow one, do the same thing.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, now they're these groovy cylinders. Change the fill color of the back wall of the chart to blue accent 1. So this is the back wall where this kind of looks like these are cylinders are standing like in a mugshot, and they have how tall you are. So this is the tricky part is, how do I grab this back wall? And if I click on, is it design? Format. Okay. If I click on format, then go over to the left side. If I click on the down arrow, you can see these are all the different elements of the chart. There's a back wall, there's an area, there's a title, there's a floor, right? So it's 3-dimensional, so that's why they have walls and sides and things like that. So we're going to just highlight the back wall, and we want to change the fill color of the back wall. So that's this bucket over here. So click on the down arrow, find the fill color to blue accent 1, lighter 80%. So I think it's this blue. Or is it this one? Darker. Blue accent is this first one, sorry. Blue accent 1, lighter 80%. So it's this guy. And it makes it that pale blue color.
What did
and
you
then
press the back wall part?
What's that?
What did you press for the back wall part? Like, how did you get there?
So I'm on, make sure you have the chart highlighted. So you get the chart tools that pop up, and choose format. And then over here on the left side, you have all these different elements that you can grab, and click on the down arrow and then choose back wall. And then this next one is to change the sidewall to orange accent to lighter 80%. So now we're going to go down here and choose sidewall. You can see it's grabbed because these little blue balls are on there. And we're going to go to the shape fill. And then the other one looks like orange to me is this one. And they want this one to be orange accent to lighter 80%. So that's this one here. Does this look orange to you?
No, it looks brown.
Kind of brown. I think Excel's trying to figure out what would it look like if the light were coming from this side and this is shaded orange? Because these look orange to me, but not this. Anyway. All right, so that's that. So now we're going to go to the 2018-2021 share sales worksheet. So that's one right next to it. And select cell A4 and create a pivot chart and pivot table on a new worksheet. All right, so woohoo, we're going to create a pivot chart and pivot table. So why do they say A4? It really doesn't have to be A4. It just, when you are within a table, tables have special properties and they know that you're there. And so when you just click on any cell, it kind of activates the table. You notice like on a Mac, it's not real obvious, but the table tool comes up on the menu, and when you click outside, it goes away, right? So that's why they ask you to click on A4, just that you have to activate the table. So we'll click on A4 since that's what they're asking for, and create a pivot chart and pivot table on a new worksheet as described below. So the way to do that on a Mac is to go to your Insert tab, not really a tab on a Mac, Insert menu, and then over on your ribbon, you're going to click on Pivot Chart, because when you do a pivot chart, it does both a pivot chart and a pivot table at the same time. So that's kind of the secret of a Mac. And they want this to be on a new worksheet. So we're going to click OK. Right, so now we have a pivot table and a pivot chart. I'll make mine a little bigger. You guys get that?
Mm-hmm.
Yay. All right.
How did you get both at the same time? You just did pivot table?
I did no pivot chart. So you have to do the on your insert tab.
Yeah.
It's actually, mine's grayed out because I'm already on it.
Okay, I got it. Perfect.
So it's over here.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, because there's also one over here. We'll do that next. When you just want a pivot table, you click on pivot table. You cannot, and you also cannot, whatever reason, this is Excel, you can't insert just a pivot chart. So if they ask you to insert a pivot chart, you have to insert a pivot chart and the pivot table comes along with it. All right, so now the fun begins. Let's, we're gonna rename this chart. So I'm gonna right click on it, choose rename, and share size pivot. Whoops, double click on it. And it says, if necessary, move the worksheet directly after the 2018-2021. Actually, it's already there. So if it's not, then you move it, and you move it just by, you can, if you just click on the tab and then move it back and forth, there's a little insertion point. Okay, so add the share size field to the axis category of the pivot chart field task pane. Well, I'm not seeing my task pane. That's because I have to click on the pivot chart in order to activate it. So that brings up these fields. And remember, a field is just nothing that other than the title that goes above, you know, a column of data, right? So yeah. So let's see. Add the share size. So I'm gonna grab the share size. So if I click on this and then hold my left mouse button and drag it down, I'm gonna drag it down to, they want it to the axis category. Okay, so then it's starting to build our table over here. The categories are large, regular, and small, L, R, and S. And then we need to populate it with some data. So those are the categories. And then we want to add the share type field to the values. So we're going to grab the share type with the left mouse button. I'm going to drag it on down to the values, bottom right one. And boom, now we have a chart and data, right? So there's 5 large, 6 regular, and 6 small. And they want us to move the pivot chart so that the upper left corner is A9. So I'm going to grab the upper left corner and drag it over to A9, drop it there. Then grab the bottom right corner. Oops. Move this out of the way. Move. Grab the bottom right corner. There we go. Bottom right corner goes to G23. It's like a bingo game. Bingo. All right. So use share size options by size as the title of the pivot chart. So if I click on the chart and then click where it says total, the title of the chart should be share options by size. And we're going to add a primary vertical axis. So I'm going to click outside there. And then I need to go over to our format tool over here. Screen on mine. Or is it design? Here, design tab. And we're going to click the axis titles, the primary. Vertical is number of share options. So I'm just going to double click on this and type and then click outside and then click again, add the horizontal axis, and that's going to be share size. That's it. Number 7. Customers can pick up their weekly farm shares at designated locations in town. If Marcelo decides to expand his program, he needs to know how each location will be impacted by farm share pickup. Go to the 2021 North Region Participants Worksheet and select cell A4. So that's this one, right? Wait. 2018, 21. Where is it? Here it is. 2021 North Region Participants Worksheet. And select cell A4, create a blank pivot table report in a new worksheet. Hint, the pivot table should be based on the table North Region 2021. All right, so again, this is, now we have a pretty good size database. It's starting to look more like real life. So I'm going to click on cell A4. Remember, it could be any cell just to activate the table. I'm going to go over to the insert heading. And this time we're going to choose, Josh, this one here, pivot table. And it's selecting the table range, North Region 2021. That was their hint. So we've selected the right one. And we want it to be on a new worksheet. So we're going to click OK. And now we just have our pivot table. No chart. Make this a little bit bigger. All right. And add the pickup location and share type in that order to the rows area of the pivot table fields task pane. So I'm going to grab it. I'm just going to click on it and then hold down with my left mouse button and grab it and drop it in the rows section. Then we have our different locations. And then we're going to grab share type. So I click on that one and then drag it down below location, just anywhere below it. And it's in that order. So here we have the arts literacy for life building, and they have the beef, cheese, fruit, vegetable, milk, and vegetable share types. And then different ones at different locations. All right, so we're starting to build a table, and then now we need to populate it with data. That's data always goes where the values are, or actually these are data too, but the values are what we want to see. And they want that to be the share cost. So I'm going to grab share cost and drag it down to the values area.
Is there a reason why when I do it, the pivot chart also shows up? Is there a reason?
You must have selected, when you inserted the chart, you selected this one instead of, it was this one that you selected. That's what we did the last time, but this time we were just supposed to select this one where it says pivot table. That's why. That's all right. You could just, I think you could just delete the chart afterwards and it should be fine. North pickup location report.
That's what we rename it to.
Yeah. I was getting ahead of myself. And then we added the pickup location and share type in that order, and then the share cost to the values section. And if you wanted to reorder these things, like if you wanted to have the share type and then which pickup locations fall underneath them, we would just move this one. I'm just showing you, you don't have to do this, move it up. Or move this one down. Yeah, that's easier. And now we have bacon. They get bacon at Gulp's Coffee House and Pepper's Cupcakes. But, and beef. Anyway. They want it to be this way. First pickup location. All right. So that's it. So that's that one. And then they want us to apply the currency number format with 0 decimal places and $sign as the symbol to the sum of shares. So The way to do that is this little I button here. If you click on that, it'll tell you. So there's different ways, different data that you can stick in a pivot chart. Sum, count, average, max, min, all these different things. So in this case, they want us to just change the formatting of these numbers, right? Because these are dollars cost, so they want us to just show the formatting. So that's over here where it says number, bottom left side. So click on number, and we're going to choose currency. And they want it to have 0 decimal places. So I'm going to down click it to 0. And then the symbol is the dollar sign. And then choose OK. And then OK again. And then it's changed all of these. The other one that I neglected to do was 7E. This is on the North Pickup Location Report. So I'm going to go over to the North Pickup Location Report and let's see, what do they want us to do? E. Okay, so take that out. What we didn't do is add a filter. And so 7E is add the share size of the field to the filters area of the pivot table fields task pane. So we just got to find share size, drag it on down to the filter. And that brings up the filter for this table here. And then if you click on the filter, right now I just have large selected, but yours may look like this. So if you just want to uncheck R and uncheck S, and then it'll have the large selected, and that's it. So you'll get that one right now. Number 9 was the refresh. Forgot to do the refreshing thing. So go to location report, refresh the pivot table report data. Now we need to return to the 2021 North Region Participants Worksheet. So we're back again, and choose A4 and create a pivot chart directly from the data in that table in a new worksheet as described below. Uses season size pivot chart as the name. So I'm just going to copy that for future reference. And we're going to go to our pivot table. Let me get rid of this here. Our table, and just select anywhere in the table. And I'm going to go to insert, and I'm going to choose pivot chart. Remember I was saying that you have to have a table and a chart when you choose pivot chart. Worksheet. There's where our chart's going to be, and then we'll have a pivot table that's just going to be kind of hanging out there. Okay, and this needs to be named season size pivot chart. So I'm going to right click on it, choose rename. It's not working now. I'm just going to type it out. Season size pivot chart.
Where are you typing?
Down here on the tab. Can you see it?
Okay. Yeah.
Season chart size pivot chart. And pivot chart's all one word when the C is capitalized. And it says, if necessary, move the worksheet directly after the 2021 North Region Participants Worksheet. And so we're gonna have to do that. So I'm gonna click on it with the left mouse button. And then we get this little guy. We're gonna move it over to right after 2021.
I have a question.
North Region Participants Worksheet. Yes.
Sometimes it doesn't work for me because like I don't have a mouse,
What do you have?
a laptop, like the pad,
The trackpad?
Yeah.
You should be able to click once and then hold it down. It's the same thing as like holding it down with the left mouse button. But do it on the left side, I think. It depends on how your trackpad is set up.
Yeah, you can just hold it down. It worked.
It worked, Natalie, just held it down. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked. Sorry.
All right, good. Thank you. So if necessary, remove worksheet. So add the share size field to the legend series of the pivot chart. So I have to click on the pivot chart to bring up the pivot chart fields. And they're saying add the share size field to the legend. So I'm going to grab share size, click once with the left mouse button and go over here. Up here, we haven't used this yet, to the legend. And I'm going to move over a little bit. We don't really need to see that. Why am I not seeing the legend pop up? All right. And then add the season field to the axis category. So I'm going to click on the season and drag it down to the axis. Oh yeah, there's my legend. This is the legend here, right? LRS. And then add the share type field to the values area. So I'm going to grab share type, click once and click once again, and drag it down, hold and drag it down to the values, the share type. And so now we have data in there. And where was I? It's your season field access category, values. Use share sold in North Region as a title of this field. Huh. All right, so we have to change the title of the field. So the way to do that is to, I'm going to click on the values. I'm going to click on the information button. And instead of seeing count of share type, we're going to type share sold in North Region up here where it says in the field name. So shares. Choose OK. All right, that's right. Move and resize the chart. So G2, the top left one, and 018 for the bottom right. So grab the left one, drag it over to G2, and then I'm going to grab the bottom right one and drag it over to 018. Oh, there's 18. There you go. So that's it. Number 9. How are you guys on time? I know we're scheduled to go to 11:30, but we're not all the way through, and I'll just keep going until we get done. If you need to drop off, you can drop off. Did I miss anything on this one? No, that's it. All right, Marcelo created a pivot table to determine how many sales were associated with each pickup location. He now wishes to format the chart, make it easier to read. All right, so go to the location report worksheet. So where's that? Here it is, location report. Okie doke. So he's already created a pivot table. And forgot to do the refreshing thing. So go to location report, refresh the pivot table report data. Hint, after refreshing the pivot table data, the data and value cell D18 should be 17,410. So let's go to location report, and we're going to click here, and we're going to go to the pivot table analyze, and right in the middle there's the refresh button. Ours is already refreshed, so we're good. Okay, so that's, and we want to apply the pivot style and medium to the pivot table report. So all these reports you can give them style. So just click anywhere in the table, and then you'll get our tools, our pivot table tools. I think this is about design, so we'll click on design. And then here's our different styles up over here. So click on the down arrow, and they want a pivot style medium 14. So our medium section's over here. So this one, that's it. Yeah, so it's the light green pivot style medium 14. So just click on that. Now we have given our pivot table some style. Modify the sum of share cost field as described below. Summarize the values in the column using the average function. So what do they want us to do? They want us to sum of share costs. So that's this field here. They want us to summarize the values in the column using the average function. All right, so these are basically adding everything, and they want to figure out what's the average share cost for each of these. So to change that, just click somewhere here and then go over to, so this one, fields items, no. The heck. Sorry, where the heck was this? Field list. All right, click on the field list. All right, so that brings up the same tool that we were using before. And instead of it being sum of share costs, we're going to change it to the average. So I'm going to click on the little I button, the information button. And over here, see it's sum. We want it to be the average. So we're going to choose average. And we're going to change the name of it to average sale per share. Did you notice actually how it went from sum to, it actually changed the word sum to average? Right, when you click on average, it changes up here. They want us to be the average sale per share. So I'm going to type over this and just type sale per share. And then choose OK. Okay, so now we have average sale per share up there.
Professor, how do you get that sidebar thing to show up? The pivot table?
It's over here. It's these. This is called the field list. So just click somewhere in the table and then make sure you're on the pivot table analyze tab or heading. Mm-hmm. And then it's over here on the right. Field. Click on field list. Get it?
Yes. Then we just.
And then go over here where it said sum of shares, and then you
Okay. Thank you so
click
much.
on the I button.
You
Got it?
know
All
how you're on average sale per share, your P is lowercase?
Oh, is it supposed to be capitalized?
No, I don't know, but I did capital at first and then I pressed okay and then I fixed it to lowercase, but every single time I try to make it lowercase, it just changes back to uppercase. I
Huh.
don't know if it's supposed to be. Oh yeah, I think it is supposed to be lowercase, but
Yeah, it's showing it as being lowercase.
I don't know how to.
Are you able to type up here?
Up where?
Up here, it says field name.
Yeah, that's where I did it, but then every single time I try to change it back to lowercase p, it just changes back to uppercase.
That's weird.
I don't know. It's okay.
All right. Hopefully, it don't mark you down for capitalization, but you never know. All right, so modify the number format of the total share sales field so that the values display in accounting number format with 0 decimal places and $sign as a symbol. Okay, so we're going to go to the total shares field, click on that little information button, and we're going to choose number, and they want it to be counting with 0 decimal places. And choose okay. Okay. So now, change the report layout so the report is viewed in outline form. Where's our outline form? On a Mac. Don't do what I'm doing. I've forgotten how to do this. Here we go, on the design tab. We're going to go to the report layout and then choose show in outline form. That's outline form. All right. Switch to the sales total report worksheet. A lot of worksheets, huh? Sales total report.
Professor, you said not to do the outline form thing?
No, you can, sorry.
Okay.
You can just, it's over here on the design tab. So just click on the table and then click on design and then
Perfect.
yeah, report layout. So we're going to the sales total report, and each customer has purchased, blah, 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 new calculated field. So we're going to add a field. So this is a report. We want to add a field, which is basically going to be another column of data. So to do that, we have to click on the table somewhere. And I'm going to go over, I believe it's over here on pivot table analyze. So highlight that one, and we're going to new calculated field to the end. Bless you.
Thank you.
To the end of the pivot table report to calculate the cumulative share sales for each customer as described below. Create a formula without using a function that multiplies share costs by the years participating. Hint, the calculated field will automatically be added to your pivot table. So Okay, they want us to add a calculated field. So basically a field that's going to appear right here in column C. So to do that, we are going to go, just click anywhere in the table here, and we're going to go up here to where it says fields, items, and sets. I'm going to click on the down arrow. I'm going to choose calculated field. And it just defaults to field 1. So what we're going to do is they want us to calculate the share cost by the years participating. So I'm going to go down here at the bottom and find share costs and just double click on it, and that'll insert the share cost. And then we have to multiply it times years participating. So I'm just going to type the asterisk and then go on up here and double click on years participating and choose OK. Okay. They want us to apply the accounting number format with 0 decimal places. So we're going to go down here where it says sum of field 1. That was just the default of the new field that we created. We're going to change that in a second. So we're going to change this right now to cumulative share sales. And then we're going to click on number, and county's already highlighted on mine. So we're going to then down click 2 arrows, and then $sign is the right symbol. So we're going to choose OK and choose OK again. And here we have our new field here. Okay, so that should do it for number 14. And so let's move on to number 15. We're almost done here. Go to the share type report worksheet and format the season slicer as described below. So that's this guy right here. And a slicer is just simply a way to filter data, slice and dice the data. So that's what this is up here. This is the slicer, this whole thing. And this is just a pivot table. Okay, so go to the share type report, format the season slicer as described below. Format the slicer using slicer style light 16. So I'm going to click on the slicer, and that brings up our slicer tool. So I click on the slicer tab up here, and they wanted us to give it the light 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that this one? Yeah. So they like green. Format the slicer using slicer's light 6. Use the slicer to filter the pivot table to display only data for the summer fall field. So when you click on one, you can see how it changes: winter, spring, summer, fall. So click on summer, fall, make sure it says summer, fall up here, and now we've filtered it to just have the summer, fall data. And now they want us to add another slicer to the model pivot table based on the share type field, and then complete the following actions. So they want us to insert another slicer. So I'm going to click on the field here, and where's my slicer? Is it over here? Here it is. It's on the insert tab. And we're going to go over here to where it says slicer. It says insert slicers. And they want it to be based on the share type field. So I'm going to click on that and choose OK. And here's our share type slicer, right? Share types: bacon, beef, cheese, chicken, fruit and vegetable, milk, and pork. Okay. We've done that. Resize and reposition the share type slicer so that the upper left corners is in D10, bottom right corner is in G26. So this one needs to be in D10. And this one needs to be in G26. Okay. And we've done that, and we're going to format the slicer using slicer style light 6. So we're going to go make sure the slicer style is picked, and then we're going to go here and choose 6 again, this one here, and use the slicer to filter the pivot table to display only data for fruit and vegetable, and vegetable. Okay, so that means that we have to multi-select our tools here. And I think that's this little guy up here. If you click on the multi-select, sounds like a Bronco, you know, slicer and dicer. If you buy today, we're going to add our multi-select tool right here. So click on multi-select. And we want to choose fruit. So I'm going to click on fruit.
Wait, where's multi-select?
These guys are up here, these little green check boxes in the slicer itself. There. Okay, so there's fruit. And then fruit and vegetables. So on a Mac, I think is a command. Yeah, the command button. You have to hold the command button and then the left mouse. And then fruit and vegetable, and vegetable. So I believe those are selected.
It like took away all like the list, so it's like just showing like. Wait, I'm confused.
So the slicer, oh, I think I did it backwards. So it looks like when it's white, it's not selected, and when it's green, it is selected. So these are exact opposite. So let's try that again. I just clicked on the clear filter, and then I'm going to choose the multi-select. This is weird.
Oh,
I'm unclicking it. So what happened to? Oh, I see. The same thing happened to me. Huh.
Yeah.
it's only like showing the meats and like dairy when we do.
So to bring it back, try clicking on the funnel with the X next to it where it says clear filter. Does that bring it back?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so then they're all green. I guess don't select the multi-select tool and then choose fruit. There you go. And then the command fruit and vegetable and vegetable. And now those three are selected. Oh, I think they wanted us to format this too. Did you get that?
Mine is like the fruit and vegetable are white, not green.
So click on clear filter.
Mm-hmm.
And then don't do anything. You're not supposed to select the multi-select tool. It's confusing. But hold down the command, then just click on fruit, and then everything else should turn white. And then hold down the command, and then fruit and vegetable.
Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't. Let me see this.
Then try clicking on this thing, the multi-select tool. Maybe that's what you have to do. And Our workbook should look like that. I think we got all those. Yeah. 34. Okay. How's everyone else doing? Still there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to save my, should have been saving this all along. But I'll do this for class 1. Make it _2. Let's see how we did.
Would you take off points for the naming, the cumulative I think it was a share?
No, no. I'll have to, you'll have to what I would do is just resubmit it once I figure out what the fix is for that.
Okay,
So,
for sure.
well, I'm gonna send it in to see how we did for now. Nope, that wasn't what I wanted. Guess I gotta say, no, where am I? Here. Let's try this again. So they make it seem like, warning, this project's not compatible with Office for Mac, but you can do most of it. All right, click here, upload it. Ooh, so you're gonna let me shoot. For whatever reason, it won't let me do it from my Mac. Just do it to my downloads. Okay, now I can do this. Submit. Oh, yikes. All right, so the 2018-2021 size 10, we did that.
Dang it.
Do you guys get marked down for the same one?
Yeah.
That's right. I wonder if they wanted us to change the outline of it as well. All right. Let's see what else. So that's that one. Remove a value from, well, yeah, we knew we were going to get number 4 wrong. So that's worth 6 points. Oh, share size pivot worksheet should contain a worksheet named share size pivot. What's wrong with that one? Don't know why that's graded down on that. Oh, I forgot to do this one. I forgot to filter it. It was only 1 point. So basically filter a pivot table. Which one was this? North pickup location report. So let's see, where's that one? To filter this one, you just click on the down arrow. And sorry, This. It was going to be filtered by what? On the right. I don't think I'm on the right report. Anyway, there's it was. We forgot to do that one. We forgot to filter it to L. North pickup location report worksheet. Worksheet should be filtered by shear size field to display only the L records. Oh,
Should we be fixing this right now?
you should fix it eventually. I'm just trying to figure out how to. Why can't I find the filter here? Do we have the wrong data in here? It looks like we had the wrong data in there. So we should have had pickup location and the share size. By the way, I got rid of I had the share type in here, so you just grab it and let it go, and somewhere on the table, and it'll disappear. So to filter this, you click on the down arrow, and they just wanted it for large. So I uncheck R and S, and then it's just, is that what they wanted? Yeah. So it's just supposed to be large. All right, pickup location report. All right, so just showing larges. And let's see what else.
Why do I not have the LRS things?
Because it's because I had the wrong data in there. It should have had down here under the rows section.
Mm-hmm.
You have share type instead of share size.
Oh, they want share size.
Yeah, so just grab the share type, just like kind of like what I'm doing here, and then just drag it and let it go to get rid of it, and then pull down the share size, and then you'll be able to fix this.
How do we filter?
So click on the little down arrow, and then down here where it says select all, you can just unselect it and just check the L, and that's the filter.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, let's see what else we get wrong. That's the. Oh, I forgot to refresh. I forgot a couple of things. In the location report, we're supposed to refresh our pivot table. So the pivot table should be refreshed. Okay, so location report.
Oh my goodness, my whole.
We're gonna go.
Deleted.
Just click on the pivot table somewhere, and go up to where it says pivot table analyze. And then right here in the middle, we're going to refresh our pivot table. So just click on that button, and it just changes some of the numbers here. It's pulling in data from other places. I just skipped that one. Well, that was worth 6 points too. That's why we got such a low one.
I don't
Ooh.
see anything changing when I refresh it.
What number do you, which one was it? Location report. What number do you have down here in the bottom right in D18?
17410.
All right, so that's the right number.
Okay.
So it must have already refreshed somehow. But anyway, now you know how to do it. You click the refresh button. And then the last one, what the heck? I think this is because of the fields. I got the field name wrong. Yeah. So we missed that one. So I need to send out a fix for that. I don't know exactly how to fix that. So anybody get better than the 78?
I got an 87.
Oh, good for you.
I think it's
And
only
well-
because I got 9 right.
Okay.
For the North pickup location report,
Yeah.
my chart is just like, it's gone. I don't know how to, it's just, it only shows like row tables, sum of shared costs, grand total, and like nothing else there. I don't know why. Yeah.
This guy here.
Uh-huh.
So click on the table over here so you get the pivot table fields. What do you see down in the rows section?
Let me go over here. Why didn't you turn it around and make me feel bad? Why can I like not see that?
So you have to make sure you click on the pivot table somewhere up here, like click on cell A4. And then you get the pivot table fields.
Yeah, I have share size and the other one there, but there's nothing
Do you have anything in the values?
I only have
Okay.
row labels, sum of shared costs, and then grand total. And like nothing in between.
So you don't have the Arts for Life building on your little filter. If you click on the little filter guy up there, you go down here, if you just check the box where it says select all, are they all selected?
Yes, and then now it shows up, but it doesn't look like yours. Mine like
How's
shows, it looks like LRS, LRS, LRS.
Okay, so you have to filter it. So click on the little filter. Filter. For whatever reason, mine won't allow me to filter. Are you able to click on the down arrow and see the LR and S?
I don't see the LRS. I see arts, I see like each category. I don't have LRS. I have like the arts, literacy, for life building, central green farming, farmers market, those, but not LRS.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, why don't we, there was another thing that you need to help with as well. So I'll end the call here, and Peyton, do you want to get back on afterwards? or just hang on and we try to figure this out, or
Okay.
do you want to come back at a different time?
Oh, no, I can wait if that's okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anybody else have questions?
Mm-mm.
Thanks for hanging in there, guys. This was, experiments. First time I've ever done this. So y'all did great. Hopefully you'll be able to make those fixes and get a higher grade. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All
Professor.
right. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Seriously,
Bye.
sir.
All right. So I think there's a way to swap windows.
Oh, like where I can show you my screen.
Yeah.
So
Um,
I do that here. I click share screen. Oh,
okay.
this happened last time with Jose. It's like host disabled attendance. Host disabled attendee screen sharing. So
Okay.
it was something that Jose had to do on his end.
Let's see here.
I can't remember what it was, but the same thing showed up last time. You have to
Okay.
like allow me to share my screen or something like that.
This is my share screen. So I don't think it's that one.
This is so much harder, Professor, than meeting in person.
Is it?
Yes, because like
Why is it?
in class I can just be like, Professor, I have a question, and then we can figure it out. But it's so sad. Like everything's happened so quickly. I'm telling you, it happened so fast and so
I
quick.
know.
It's just
I
crazy.
know.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
And people are like, the world was kind of already like divided before